everyone, this is the first video I'm filming in the new year, so happy new year to everyone. So in this video there will be a few things. I will be doing some swatches for the, I'm just trying to grab a color here, for the Golden High Flow Acrylics that I purchased end of December or middle of December, I think just before Christmas, and have really enjoyed them. And so yeah, you'll see the swatches, they're super beautiful colors. I also will be playing with the Tintoretto brush that I also purchased in December and had a lot of fun playing with it and creating kind of certain textures within illustrations. So you'll see this page here in the making. So I will first just do some brush marks and then later on kind of try to create certain patterns with the brush, which actually was a lot of fun and super enjoyable. Also, by the way, I have finally got back into creating those faces that I used to do ages ago, but I just kind of changed the style a little bit more, and but it's working now perfectly, because if you remember in the previous video I struggled with the eyes here because I just couldn't get enough detail and the style wasn't quite what I was looking for, although I liked the faces here, but I just couldn't get the eyes to look right. So yeah, I'm quite happy with the outcome, as you will see in these two little faces here on this page. And that's it. I haven't been able to create a lot more. I think the only other thing that you haven't seen, I think, is this page that I worked on, and this was before this page. So this has not been recorded, this was just in my own time, kind of in the evening, and it was 4th of January, so way after the holidays. I had absolutely no time to be doing any sort of art, which I was hoping for. I was just enjoying myself with my family, cooking, eating, doing things. It just was perfect. So yeah, the other major thing that I have done and I'm super happy about is yesterday I did a major spring clean of this side of the room, which you remember I mentioned before, and now I have taken everything out of the wardrobe and put all of my arts and craft supplies in the wardrobe, nicely organized, so everything is super neat. There's about 5% left of work to do. I will show you the full studio tour very soon now because it's pretty much finished, and I can share that with you. But otherwise, enjoy the rest of the video, the swatches and the bit of art work at the end. Thanks for watching and see you soon. Alright, so let's start with the swatches. I tried to not speed up this video too much as per your request that you prefer slower swatches, but I do have to speed it up just a little bit. Hopefully you can still enjoy it. So it's not going to be rushed this time. And I am starting with the Tombow 076. I think you can look up their names on the website or something like that, but on the actual barrel there is no name print. So this color I bought because I thought it would be a good kind of like a green gold type of a color or a green ochre, but it just was a little bit too dull. I will later compare it with the Winsor & Newton green gold pigment marker, so you'll see it side by side. Here I'm moving on to these gorgeous little bottles, which are by Golden, and they are the High Flow Acrylic. So here you're watching me having a disaster. I completely forgot that you have to remove a little sealed kind of thing on top. It's a circle before you start pressing on the bottle, because as you press, eventually the pressure will get the sticker off, but not fully, so you will end up basically with a leakage all over. So yeah, just make sure you remove. As you can see, it was stuck inside the cup rather than at the neck of the bottle, so make sure you go ahead and remove those seals before you start pressing, because there was a lot of mess and wastage. So this is a white color, and of course I decided it's a titanium white. I decided to paint over some black to see how opaque it is, and you can see it is pretty opaque. I've got lovely few colors lined up. So the next color is Benzymidazo Ni. It's a very long name and very difficult to pronounce, but I was hoping for a type of lime green, more of a chartreuse color. As you know, I'm still having actually this chartreuse kick moving into the new year as well, but it's more of just a yellow really. But I will use another color that's coming up, and I will mix it in, and it will be a perfect chartreuse. So the second color I just swatched was Nickel Azo Yellow. Beautiful, transparent, gorgeous, typical nickel azo yellow color that we would be familiar with in the watercolors as well. The third color, which is this lovely green, is a green gold, and I would highly advise or recommend it. When it dries to a less saturated color, so it's a perfect green gold in my opinion. So here's a little bit more grassy, on a grassy side, but it does dry to a beautiful tone. So as you could see, I was mixing it with that yellow, and it is very close to that chartreuse that I really like. The second green is the Sap Green hue. Quite also very typical of the, I'd compare it to the Daniel Smith Sap Green. They are a lot of fun in terms of making them mix and flow, and they're very good at it because they're obviously called high flow acrylics, so they're perfect for that type of acrylic ink type of work. And yeah, blendability is great, and mixability as well. I could not resist getting this gorgeous teal, and again the color palette here is quite juicy and very springy. So yeah, the teals and the greens and the yellows, they are quite refreshing and lovely. The next color here is Yellow Oxide. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Maybe not what I expected or was hoping for. It's a typical yellow ochre color, but again, it's great for mixing. It is definitely on a opaque side. I felt that the teal was also on a opaque side, so both of them more opaque than the previous colors. Nonetheless, it is useful to have opaques versus transparent colors. In the beginning of my watercolor journey, I preferred to avoid opaque colors, but I learned to love them and use them in a way that helps in my art. Here I just mixed some white into that yellow oxide, and it's a very pretty beige light tone, very pastel-like, and so I'm going to enjoy using that white across all of these colors, creating different tones of them. So now let's compare the Winsor & Newton pigment marker in green gold, which I mentioned earlier, and you can see it's much more of a green gold than the Tombow one, which I was hoping for. So I wish the Tombow was in that color because it is water soluble. So before we look at this professional watercolor travel set, I wanted to just briefly touch on my sketchbook. I was obviously planning to use the holidays and the festive time, extra, time that I thought I would have to create and develop my style. So that, of course, didn't really happen. in the sense that I had zero time to myself, quite literally. So yeah, the only time I managed to sit down and do a bit of something which I actually quite liked is this page, and it was the 4th of January, so way after the holidays were over, but I was still off work for a few more days after that. And so that is what I managed to do, and I'm hoping to explore this a little bit more. It made me realize that actually the rest of the sketchbook is really a mismatch of things. So I started it not really thinking about a certain theme for this sketchbook, which I generally like to have. This sketchbook doesn't seem like it has anything yet, but it may well develop into something where I will stick to it for a while, because you can see it's a really thick sketchbook. It's got loads of pages, so that's what it is. So I started here just swatching out and playing with a few things, and I think I have some tutorials or videos on that, and that's basically what it is. And then I started sort of going into creating. So you can see 14th of December, this is when I was hoping to spend the entire month of developing landscape style and all of that. Then it brought me to a illustrative style with a bit of landscape in there, and then I was just experimenting and seeing how different pencils work on different surfaces of paints and what I could combine together, etc. So I'm not sure what I want to call this, the end result, but this is where I'm standing right now, and I am quite sort of happy with it, how it came out. I think I might want to develop a bit more of like maybe background trees or something like that. This is at the minute very minimal on kind of nature and floral elements. I would like it to have a bit more of a landscapey background if that's possible. So I'm still working on it, but I am happy how this page looks. It sort of has a style, and it's different to the previous work. So that's that. Now let's have a look at the couple of things that I got from CASS the other day when we went to London, and this was the Hampstead CASS, which I used to live there, and that was my kind of only physical art shop that I used to go to, and absolutely loved going in there and just, you know, looking through their books and art supplies, and kind of just have this dreamy sense of mood of not rushing anywhere. This is before I was married, before I had my child. So yeah, it was I had all the time in the world to do whatever I wanted. So I have a very kind of warm feeling towards that shop. So here is what I decided to get. I wasn't aware of this set until I saw it in their shop. I haven't seen it anywhere before, and so when I saw it, I thought it's actually a very, very neat palette, because I'm always after small travel sets that look unique and beautiful and have something to them that no other set has. So I thought this was very interesting. And as you will see here, it says 18 artists quarter pans with Sable Brush. So the quality of these is supposed to be artist grade. Here are all of the colors. So we have lemon yellow, cadmium yellow pale, cadmium red, quinacridone red, alizarin crimson, permanent rose, Prussian blue, cobalt blue, French ultramarine, viridian, Hooker's green light, yellow ochre, rose sienna, burnt sienna, light red, burnt amber, Payne's grey, and ivory black, made in England. So it has a faux leather little case. It kind of reminds me of phone cases from like 10 years ago, or maybe even more. So it's very kind of neat looking. It has a nice feel to it. They took off the price of them. I think they were meant to be 40, just over 40 pounds, and then down to 34 or something like that. So I think it had a bit 5 or 7 pounds off. So what you do is, this is magnetized, and I love the color scheme. This is a beautiful teal turquoisey color with the black, very chic, and then you get this beautiful sleek palette. Here you can see my sash windows there with geraniums. And then you open it up. Inside there is what feels like a nice surface, so it's not too sleek. I would hope that the paint would actually sit quite nicely here. And here are all the colors with a little insert to help you remember which color is what. These are, like it says here, quarter pans. I've never seen quarter pans before, so this is what they come like. There's sort of these, they're made as tubes in the factory, and then they just chop down, and you can see here at a little angle. There we go, you can see that now. And they're placed into these compartments. Now, what I thought would be great for this palette, so none of this comes off, it's metal and it's secured inside there. But I thought once I finish these paints, what I could do is I could use this as my own kind of little palette and fill it up with tubes. However, it will need some doctoring because the metal that's designed, it has little gaps here and there. So what I would do is like take a hot glue gun and just seal off the parts there where it needs to, so that you could, you know, create a nice and sort of sealed waterproof look. Because I could imagine by the end, when you get to the bottom of this, it would get quite messy over here. As you can see, there's holes here because how they designed this palette. Don't know if I can show you again, maybe on an example. So there's metal that is cut off from this side and bent over towards here to keep it somehow in place. So yeah, like I said, a little bit of doctoring will be required, but I'm happy to do this because I think otherwise it's such a neat palette. It hasn't been thought through fully, but it is quite cute. Now there is a little hook here which you can also use to hold things, and it feels so nicely in your hand because it's sleek and it's lightweight. I like the format of it. I like that it's thin and long. I don't know, something about it reminds me of holding like a, you know, old Nokia phone or something. Yeah, so it gives you those vibes, and I'm quite happy with it. So I will be updating you on how I get on with it, but so far very nice. And you can see it's quite thin like that. So the brush that comes with it is a Sable Brush, and it doesn't say what size it is, but it's obviously quite small. I'd say about a 3 maybe. So I've got here a 3, and it's a little bit bigger, but fairly comparable. Obviously this one has been used and this one is new. So I'd say it's actually, the bottom part of the bristles look very, very similar. I'd say it's a 3, between 2 and a 3. So again, it would fit nicely into the middle here, but also it's great for detailing, which I use detail brushes all the time for face illustrations, so that works nicely for me. In terms of colors, it's quite sort of ordinary, but I have never tried CASS art watercolors, and that will be, I think I'll do a separate video on that, where I just kind of swatch them out and maybe create some artwork with them or something like that. So I just wanted to show you what the palette looks like. And then this magnetic part comes with a black ribbon, which you basically slide your palette back in, and then you clip it in and off you go. So that's the palette. The other thing that I got while I was at CASS is a couple of washes. That is literally it. I didn't purchase anything else because I didn't need anything. I just went there to have a little bit of a browse, and you know, thought I'll get something if I really like. So I got 3 empty washi tapes, and these are, so this is like a nice squared, like grid type of washi on white background with just grid. So if you're going to put it on paper, it will almost you won't see, I think, the white. It's sort of transparent kind of looking, and then you'll see just the grid, and I think that looks nice in journaling, or if you want to do some sort of collage art. This one, I think I might have it. It's called Salmon Pink. I'm pretty sure I already have it, but I love this color. It's like a peach, and it's great for framing off artwork when you're working in a sketchbook. And this one is called Hogan Black. And then I also got this neon color, and it's called Shocking Yellow, which will be also fun to use when creating artwork and just sort of bordering it all up. That's that. And then I wanted to have a little play with this brush today and just have some fun. So this is the Tintoretto Sintetico Vajo Kazan 30 brush, and you can see how beautiful it is. And I haven't had time to play with it. It's super light. I mean, it's the lightest. I don't know what this is made out of, but it feels like it's maybe some sort of artificial product. Maybe it's not wood, because it literally feels like weightless. Never had a brush. Actually, very similar, but maybe even lighter than the Princeton Neptune handles. So yeah, let's give it a go. It's a beautiful, beautiful brush, and just let's have some fun with it. So I decided what could be more fun than try to incorporate this brush into my illustrations that I'm trying to develop lately. And for this brush, I have to say, first of all, I'll begin by just playing around with certain brush marks, seeing how much I can push the brush. And you can see it can go as wide as these brush marks. It holds fairly good amount of water, and also you can make different fine lines as well. And you will need some sort of a big area. So this tray that I'm using here, ceramic tray, works really well for this brush. You can't really use it with half pans or even full pans because it's so fine. You'd probably quickly damage the nib, so I would recommend to just mix up a color somewhere on a tray and then just basically use it that way. So it was really fun to incorporate it in these little face illustrations, and you can see the fun element of this brush is that because it holds so much water, once you actually tilt the brush upwards, all the water collects right at the tip, so you can deposit like a big chunk, I don't know if you can say chunked, towards water, but a big droplet of water. And then you can move out the brush into a fine line, so all in one kind of brush mark situation, and that made it a lot of fun to play with. So on this left side I was doing more of a crown piece, and then on the right side I tried to create a feathery dress illustration and just also use the brush in different ways, creating larger washes as well. So it's a very versatile and fun brush to have in your arsenal, and I definitely will be playing more and including it in my illustrations. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.